everybody, welcome back to the Integrity Botanicals YouTube channel. If you're subscribed here, which you should be, go ahead and do that. I upload new videos here just about every single Monday and Friday, you know the deal. But anyway, you will know that I just recently reviewed the Sappho Essentials Foundation. And if you're a Sappho fan, then you will also know that they also have the new Paradigm Foundation, which this is the most new addition to the family because this launched with the new branding that they did quite a while ago now, but less than a year ago. Also, just a quick side note, I put the Uli's ointment on my cheek as a highlighter. Honey, that's good stuff. Anyway, I wanted to do sort of a compare and contrast video for you guys, but it would be a lot to show packaging, talk about each formulation at length, show both colorways in a way that was concise and not a 20-minute long video. So I decided to separate them, but in this video I will be sort of talking about their similarities and differences and what is good for who towards the end of the video. So let's start off with the packaging. This is the Sappho New Paradigm Foundation. This packaging, in contrast to the Essentials, is like a metallic. I don't know if this is glass or not, or just like a light metal. It's a lot smaller looking. The Sappho tube's a lot longer, but I believe they have the same amount of product, which is 1 ounce, really standard foundation amount. I will say though, I think the cap and pump on this are a little cheaper despite the $62 price tag on it. The Essentials Foundation is $54, but I will get into why this is, I believe that this is a little bit more of an expensive foundation. So despite the packaging, which I can definitely look past as long as what's inside is good, this is a nice foundation. I still do prefer the Essentials, but shade range real quick. Like I said, $62 of fluid ounce, 100% vegan, along with the entirety of the Sappho line. This line also has 12 shades, and the shades, the names aren't quite as imaginative. We have lightest to darkest. We have shade 1, we have shade 2, shade 3, shade 4, shade 5, shade 6, shade 7, shade 8, shade 9, shade 10, shade 11, and shade 12. You guys now know I can count, but those are all 12 shades. I will have sort of a little cheat sheet down below showing if you already have a match in the Essentials Foundation, what your match for the new Paradigm might be. I wear the shade 6. I don't know if that's a perfect match, but it has to be because this matches my skin. And then I wear Lisa in the Essentials Foundation. The biggest difference as far as texture of this foundation, this is a lot thinner. You'll even be able to tell in my swatches, the texture of this is a lot thinner, but it, however, claims to provide 10 to 15% more coverage, which I would say is definitely true, and that's both a good and a bad thing in my opinion. The coverage on this is also medium to full coverage, really easily buildable on the skin, which I really like, and it is enriched with flavonoids, which I looked up are plant pigments, so I don't know if that gives it the color or adds to the skincare benefits. There's phytonutrients, there's antioxidants, and EcoCert certified essential oils, so you know they're the best quality essential oils that could possibly be in this foundation, which I really like. In contrast to the Essentials Foundation as well, this does contain coconut oil. So if your skin is sensitive to coconut oil, keep that in mind. Mine is only semi-sensitive to coconut oil if I do continued use, which might be the biggest reason why I don't reach for this foundation on a daily basis. And then similar to the Essentials Foundation as well, this has an aloe vera base, which I think makes it blend beautifully, feel really nice on the skin. Like I said, those provides more coverage. It feels really light on the skin. I will say this has a slight, tiny little bit of tackiness. It doesn't really bother me because that is minimized when you set it with powder, and because I think that keeps it on a little bit longer, and because it's so thin, so it doesn't feel like a thick, gross mask on the skin at all. So let's quickly go into applying, and then I'll tell you some pros, some cons, some similarities to the Essentials Foundation. So I already told you guys it has a little bit more coverage. With that being said though, I apply it the exact same way I apply the Sappho Essentials Foundation. So I like to dot it on the face. That's how they recommend as well, but that's just what I do with every liquid foundation. I take a little bit on the cheeks first, on the chin, just one dot on the forehead because I have bangs and I don't need a ton of coverage there in general. And then I like to go in with my hands. I think the hands really help melt it in. I think it's really great, especially around the nose area, the chin, where product can cling. Then I like to go in with the synthetic buffing brush, the one I'm using, to use whatever one you have on hand. I just like something a little bit more dense. I mentioned that in the Essentials foundation as well. So I'll go in with my foundation brush and I'll start to really just buff this into the skin. And it's a little bit thin, you'll get scared, it almost looks streaky at first, but it all works out in the end to be really beautifully blended, really seamless. The only issue I have with this foundation is that it sits around my nose a little bit more than the Essentials foundation does, and I think that's due to the heightened coverage in it. So I just really like to go in with a beauty sponge or just my finger and warm that area up. You could do the same. I do have more dry skin, but I thoroughly prep my skin before I put on a foundation that is not a super dewy finish, which this is not. I will say the finish of it is very comparable to the Essentials foundation as well. It's just a little bit thinner on the skin. This might even be maybe just a touch more matte. It's still skin-like. It's still not a flat matte. It's not anything crazy. It's really, really beautiful, but I would suggest this more maybe for someone who has more oily combo skin, and the Essentials for someone who has more dry skin. Dry skin only because the Essentials doesn't cling as much as this does. So if you have any really, really dry patches, I would be careful with this, but I don't think it's anything that can't be remedied. It's just something I noticed. I noticed it around my nose, like I said. I noticed it on my chin a little bit more, but you guys will see the up close shot of that. The coverage that this offers though is definitely greater than the Essentials foundation. I didn't feel the need to go in with a second layer the way I did go with a light second layer, but I didn't feel the need to go in with concealer on top of that like I usually do the Essentials foundation. So that's definitely a perk. Just skip a step, it's nice and easy. Builds beautifully. This stuff really does build beautifully. Just be careful in the nooks and crannies, like I've already said 100 times, but on the rest of the skin, it looks great. You guys will see that in the close-up shot. It just still looks like my skin, but like covers a ton. None of my redness is peeking through. None of my little breakout that I have on the side of my cheek is breaking through. And that is with no additional concealer, nothing in that cutaway that I show you guys. It's a really, really stunning foundation, but like I said, I do still prefer the Essentials foundation. So the biggest difference I would say is of course the coverage. I would say that this has a little bit more expensive ingredients and it's meant to be a little bit more of a treatment, I think. Even though this ingredients list is more simple, but the ingredients list are definitely different. It's not like I was like, what, this is the same thing in a different bottle or anything like that. I will still be using the Essentials. My actual favorite combination is to do a pump of each. I think it looks just stunning and perfect. If you guys want me to feature that in a tutorial so you can sort of see what I'm talking about, please do let me know. But that is it, a quick little wrap up of the Sappho New Paradigm foundation. This foundation's great. Like I said, better for more oily combo skin, I would say, but you do still need to set it with a powder. This isn't a bulletproof matte foundation or anything like that. Just a little bit more skin-like and just clings a little bit more than the Essentials foundation, in my opinion. If there's any big differences that for whatever reason are escaping me right now, I will write a little bit about it in the description box down below to make it a little bit easier for you guys. I will also have product samples down there. I'll have the product linked as well. I know this is an expensive foundation, but Sappho base products are some of my favorite just across the board. Their new shimmers that we're now carrying are stunning as well, even though I'm not wearing them today. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to keep up with us, please do check out all of our social media in the description box down below. It's just underneath all the product links that I always provide for you guys. And most importantly, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. I upload new videos here every single Monday and Friday, and I don't want you guys to miss it. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!